The change is already happening, gang. We are in the middle of a global shift. Now, I break it all down in my most important book yet, America Awaken. Go to americaawaken.us and get early access now.
The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives.
The vast majority of protesters and demonstrators are peaceful.
Turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
They're saying that they have it under control.
Things are under control. Peaceful protests are taking place.
Those were just some of the top auditions for the new Baghdad Bob, the new spokesperson hired for one purpose, and that is to blatantly lie to your face. But to no avail, despite all the efforts by the legacy media to convince their dwindling audience that these are just fiery but mostly peaceful protests, those protests have largely dissipated. As of last night, reports are that the riots have fizzled, largely because of Trump's cracking down and restoring law and order. LAPD announced last night that protesters were officially engaged in an unlawful assembly, and if they did not disperse, they would be arrested and detained. And so, of course, the protesters stuck around. They refused to leave, not recognizing that the police were actually in the process of surrounding them. And after they effectively boxed in the rioters, they arrested them.
The police just said we're all under arrest.
I mean, it's like, dude, what did you expect? And that was the pattern throughout the night. Law enforcement reportedly made hundreds upon hundreds of arrests that served to largely quell the madness we saw over the weekend. Yes, of course, there was still some rioting. There was a lot of looting, for sure. Looting, of course, in the name of migrant justice. But nothing like we saw over the weekend with the torching of cars and throwing down cinder blocks from overpasses on LAPD vehicles. In fact, as of last night, LAPD brought in buses to transport all the protesters they had arrested to bring them to the detention facilities. And at one point in Fox News' live coverage last night, they captured this.
Once we're done with this live shot right here, we're going to go head over that way. You see, it appears to be California National Guard. Ooh, they're taking somebody down right now.
Right.
I don't know if they saw. Yeah, I don't know who those guys are or what they did, but you can see that appears to be. Is that California National? If it says ERO on their back, that would be ICE. That stands for Enforcement and Removal Operation. I can't tell. It's some sort of law enforcement, and they clearly did not. Yeah, they clearly did not like what the guy in the yellow was doing right there, because they ran right at him and they took him down.
So, as one commentator pointed out, it does appear that the summer of love has been replaced by the summer of the steel glove. President Trump is enforcing law and order, and these pro-illegal immigration rioters are learning that lesson the hard way. Now, at the larger political level here, if you want to get a sense of how these antics of the Democrats siding with illegal migrants is being received by the electorate, take a look at the latest from Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman. Now, he's absolutely torching his fellow Democrats. He tweeted out, quote, "I unapologetically stand for free speech, peaceful demonstrations, and immigration. But this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. Now, this is precisely why this is a no-win situation, no possible win situation for the Democrats, most especially New Scum and Mayor Bass. All the rhetorical framing of peaceful protests in the world, all the deflecting from the felonious assaulting of ICE agents to Trump is Hitler is not going to change those images that the entire nation is seeing of masked hoodlums standing on top of burning cars waving a Mexican flag. If ever there were an image of foreign invasion and pillaging, it's that. And Democrats, including New Scum and Bass, are siding with the invaders and the marauders. And note, they're not just siding with the anarchists, they're siding against those first responders who are attempting to enforce the law and protect the law-abiding. This is what's called anarcho-tyranny. And it works in two directions. The Democrats are holding ICE agents and the National Guard and the LAPD to legal standards that are completely waved away and dismissed when it comes to the very ones who are assaulting ICE agents and LA police officers. It's a two-tiered segregated justice system, a kind of legal caste system that claims that it's illegal to enforce the law on certain people, which of course entails the fact that it is perfectly legal for those people to break the law. Here's Ben Ferguson making this so easy that even Abby Phillip of CNN can understand it.
There's news in America every single day. There are children that cry when their mom or dad, who's an American citizen that breaks the law, gets arrested and goes to jail. I have watched it, and there's no rioting and looting over that because we understand that we're either a country of laws or we are not a country of laws. Every day we send moms and dads who are American citizens to prison, and we separate them from their families. And you know why we don't feel sorry for them? Because we judge them on the law, and we say if you break the law in America, we put you in jail. So why is it different for illegal immigrants?
And we could just rack up commentary after commentary out there just savaging the Democrats and all of this. Here's Fox News' Britt Hume, no friend of Donald Trump's, but even he recognizes just how absurd all of this really is.
I've got to say, Jackie, I mean, I've seen some things in my life that I thought were politically unsustainable. I think what Democrats are doing and saying about all this is politically insane. I don't think there's anything like a majority support for it. Now, Karen Bass has seen polls that suggest that people do support it. She's the mayor, of course, and I think she said that if it was local polling, it might be different. But this is playing out before unmistakably a national audience, and I think it's to the detriment of the Democrats and to the Republicans and to the president. It's like picking up money off the street.
It's not just politically unsustainable, it is politically insane. And again, Hume isn't alone in this. Here's fellow Democrat strategist Dan Turentine.
I think the Democratic Party's kind of lost its mind. I think that you cannot tolerate that people are harming government property and harming federal officials executing the job that the president or the secretary of DHS or whomever has ordered them to do. Like, you just simply cannot do this. I mean, it's somewhat of a rough analogy, but in the civil rights era, when we went to try to enforce civil rights and local government officials said, we're not going to help you, we're not going to activate our National Guard, we're not going to do anything, we cheered that people went in to help execute the law.
Hey, gang, we're not just fighting an information war. There's another war that's happening that many of us don't know about, and it's in your gut. There's a battle between good and bad bacteria going on inside you right now that can determine the health for the whole of your body. And here's how you're going to win that battle. Kimchi 1 from Bright Corn Nutrition is the fermented superfood your body needs to arm the good guys with the right weapons to defeat the bad actors once and for all. All health starts in the gut, so putting the right fermented superfood in your gut improves every aspect of your health, your heart, your brain, even the quality of your skin and the growth of your hair. Containing over 900 strains of beneficial bacteria in each capsule, Kimchi 1 supports healthy digestion, fortifies your immune system, and helps detoxify your body. Kimchi has also been shown to reduce risk of obesity and promote smaller waistlines by curbing appetite and naturally boosting your metabolism. Kimchi 1 is all natural, non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, and 100% made right here in the USA. Today you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below. Just use code Turley for 25% off your entire order, or for an even better deal, give them a call and you'll save up to 50% off your order and free shipping. Call them at 888-897-0233. That's 888-897-0233. So Hume is saying the Democrats are politically insane. Dan Turentine is saying that the Democrat Party, his fellow Democrat Party, has lost their minds. They're literally siding with the kind of social unrest we associate with a third world country. To top it all off, here's Stephen A. Smith.
Why the hell are you playing right into the hands of Donald Trump? Because I got news for you. On this particular issue, as it involves migrants, immigrants, those who are undocumented, dare we say illegal, in the United States of America, he's winning on this issue. There's a reason he won the popular vote. There's a reason he won the Electoral College vote. There's a reason he won every swing state. There are people within the United States of America that want our immigration crisis addressed and want the situation resolved somehow, some way. And the person that seems eager to bring a resolution to the table is President Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, Smith recognizes this. If ever there were an 80-20 issue, it is border enforcement. This is the single most popular issue in the whole of President Trump's America First agenda. The American people, like what we're seeing with the rise of the populist right in Europe, the American people want their borders secured. They have zero tolerance for illegal immigration. And even the CBS poll that came out over the weekend that was rather skewed to Democrat respondents, even that poll found that 56% approve of Trump's mass deportation efforts. And that's what's so key here. Foundationally, this is a no-win situation for the Democrats. No win. At least when it came to George Floyd, there was a pretext of a righteous cause. For right or for wrong, at least there was the perception that the mass societal blow-up was in response to a very real injustice. This situation has its feet planted firmly in midair. This began when far-left agitators started assaulting ICE agents for doing nothing more than enforcing the law. Again, that's what's so key here. Foundationally, the Democrats literally don't have a leg to stand on. This isn't hard. One side is routinely engaged in illegal activity, whereas the other side is 100% engaged in legal activity. And whose side are the Democrats taking? One side is assaulting ICE agents, deliberately interfering in their arrests, which is a felony, dropping concrete cinder blocks from overpasses onto LAPD squad cars. Well, at least they're not burning them like they're burning the self-driving cars. And the other side is responding to that by faithfully carrying out their law enforcement duties. And so ask yourself, are the Democrats on the side of law enforcement, or are they on the side of the lawbreakers? I mean, simply put, this is the greatest possible gift that Trump and the Republicans could get. And we're already seeing it in the polls. We talked about this last night. Rasmussen, one of the most accurate pollsters of 2024, good friend Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen, they're reporting a Trump surge as of this weekend. Within hours of the start of the riots and the deployment of the National Guard, Trump's approval shot up to 54%. Rich Barris, the single most accurate pollster of 2024, seeing very much the same thing. He hasn't published his numbers yet, but yesterday he found that Trump's approval rating is almost the same as Rasmussen's, 53.1%. So not only is Trump defeating his political opponents on the battlefield, as it were, he's defeating them in the hearts and minds and the sentiments of voters all across the country. But then you know what that means. Because of TDS, that means the Democrats, having lost their minds, are only going to double down on this absurdity, which means butter the popcorn, because the absurdities are just getting started.